Welcome everyone. I'm so glad you could join me. So, last night I got hungry, and it was one of those times when I just couldn't make up my mind what I wanted. And finally it came to me. I wanted ice cream. So I drove. I drove some distance to the next little town where they have an ice cream place, and I had myself, I didn't have ice cream, but I had chocolate and vanilla frozen yogurt, and it was just delicious. And that's what gave me this idea. So for the vanilla, there is chamomile mixed yellow French yellow clay. My oils, that is actually chocolate essential oil, cacao essential oil, and vanilla extract. I didn't want to use fragrance oils. I wanted to keep this pretty real. And this, now keep in mind, because it is a vanilla extract, that's alcohol, right? So what I've done is I heated this to burn off the alcohol before adding it in. I want the additional sugar. Anyway, so here what I'm doing is I've my goat's milk, my frozen goat's milk is there. I'm just slowly adding the lye to it and stirring it. You've seen me do this time and time again, so I won't bore you with this. We'll go ahead and jump through to the thaw. So one moment. Alright, so now got it pretty much all melted. There are a couple smaller pieces in there. By going slow at it like this took about 10-12 minutes to get it completely melted, because it's also an ice bath to keep it cool, and it's at about 80 degrees right now. But you'll notice it keeps its creamy color. I've mentioned this time and time again because I just want to make sure everybody understands, if you keep it cold, you keep the most important properties of that goat milk that are so good for our skin. So just keep that in mind. Keep it cold while you're making soap, and it will never scorch on you. It will never get stinky on you. It'll just have that one creamy texture and smell, which I love. And by the way, something I'm going to talk about that few other soap makers mentioned. For the milk that I use in my soap, I use goats that are separated from the bucks, from the males. The reason for this is that male goats, the nicest way I can put this is that they scent themselves with the urine. And the females, and well, it can actually affect the taste of milk and cheese from that milk. So you do want to keep the goat, the male, separated from the does during this time. That was it. I just wanted to tell you that because my milk doesn't have that stinky smell. Okay, that was it. I just wanted to share that with you. I'm sorry about the shaking of the camera there. I'm actually looking. I've already ordered a new mount. I'm waiting for the delivery of a new mount. The oils I'm using here are coconut oil, olive oil, avocado oil, cocoa butter, shea butter, and castor oil. Now I'm in the French yellow clay and the chamomile powder. And I'm doing this to give this just sort of that vanilla caramel kind of color. And I will tell you, it came out a little darker than it would, but it's okay. It's still fun. Yeah, and there I got the little powder puff. You have to be so careful when mixing this stuff in because it will just go everywhere, won't it? So I'm just going to blend this in real good. So I got that well blended. I'm now adding in the cacao essential oil along with vanilla extract. And the smell to me is heavenly. It smells terrific. It really does. Just like it should. So, is this vanilla? No, this is more of we'll call this a very dark French. It's French yellow clay, so I guess that kind of works. I think next time I would just use the chamomile powder. I think that would work better. So for the chocolate, I am using organic cacao nibs that have already been ground up into a powder. And to darken that, I'm adding charcoal to it. Just wanted very little. You look at that great big monster jar I have of that stuff. I thought I would need so much of it when I first ordered it. I never realized how little activated charcoal it takes to color. But even though that is real cacao bean that is ground up there, it tends to be more of a beige color when it's soap, a dark beige. So by adding a little bit of the activated charcoal to it, it just darks it up to a real nice dark brown. So that's all that's there is the powder. I'm going to be putting that in a separate container and then dividing up the soap after I get the lye mixed in. Alright, so I'm pouring in my goat's milk, lye, into my oils here. That's the oils and the chamomile powder and the French yellow clay that's there in the bowl. So I'm just bringing these together here, and I'm going to mix them up real good before I separate part of the mixture into the cacao powder there. So I've now got that to just emulsion. I'm mixing it very well, but I'm not bringing it to a heavy trace, only because I do want some type of a swirl in the mold that I'm putting this in, which is tricky in this mold, as you'll see in a moment. But I found a way to achieve that. So you'll see that this has more of a creamed coffee look to it. So that's why it's really important that that cacao part be nice dark. So you'll see why I added charcoal to it as I poured the soot and sit. Isn't that a nice color though? Very nice texture color. And the smell. If you like chocolate, you would adore this. Between the Cacao Essential Oil and the fresh ground cocoa nibs in here, the cocoa, it's just fantastic. The smell in this room is just adorable. If you like chocolate, you'd be licking the walls. It's just terrific. So the mold I decided to use for this, because this is such a moisturizing bar and so luxurious, I wanted it to be in a nice round bar, because to me they're so much easier to use. They're I don't know, they're just more elegant, I think. And so what I'm going to do here is just an alternating pour to begin with. I'd like to apologize to you all for my hair getting in the way all the time. I need to learn to lean in the other direction. So again, I'm just doing an alternating pour here of this is the cacao nibs and the activated charcoal. And then my vanilla here, which is the chamomile and French yellow clay. This is all of the chocolate. I'm getting all of that in now. And then I'll be topping it off with the vanilla. I've had a lot of fun doing this one. I mean, mostly because it smells great and makes me want to lick it, but I know better. Now, goat milk soap does get very hot. So, what I'm showing you here is the hanger that I made, just bent into a curl. And I'm using that to swirl. I'm lifting it up and down and rotating it, just trying to get the colors kind of distributed throughout. Now here you'll see me put the cap on it, but actually I take it right off because I need to put this in the refrigerator. Goat milk soap gets hot really fast. This is already getting hot. So you don't want it to burn, so immediately get it in the fridge. That's how I like it. I know there are folks that will actually let their goat milk gel. I don't know. Perhaps it's just me. Well, I'm sure it is. But I do know there's some other soap makers like me that don't like to cook the milk, overcook the milk, I should say. So I've waited about 24 hours. I did not put this in the freezer, which, at first anyway, which you're about to see why. Or why I ended up putting it in the freezer, I should say. It wasn't quite ready. It was hard, but it was sticking. So I'm taking it to put it in the freezer for a few minutes, and I bring it back, and it popped right out. And I'd like to apologize for the television screen there that you see in front. That was just so I could see what I was doing, so I could see what you see, to try to help to give you a better experience. I'm going to move it obviously further away from the table so that it won't be in your view. But I think this turned out pretty great. It is looks like a chocolate vanilla swirl. So I put the cutter there backwards. And I just fell in love with this. I really did. It smells tremendous. It's hard. Putting it in the freezer for about 30 minutes also hardened it up a bit more. That's just the end piece there. And I cut these at about 1.25 inches. I just like thicker round soaps. So it's not terrible. I really like it. It smells great, and it represents what I was looking for. Now, probably in the future, if I did this again, I would use some titanium dioxide in it to whiten up the vanilla a bit more. I think that the chamomile powder and the yellow clay didn't quite give the color I was going for, but I don't know, I like it. I really do. I will tell you, the smell has a lot to do with it. I think it could look like almost anything, and I would like it because it smells wonderful. But what I'm most happy about is that both colors got in there, that you can really see the variation. And is often the case with these, when doing a column mold like this. You don't know what you're going to get until you get it. And that's exactly what happened here. I want to say thank you, how much I appreciate you, the folks of you, those of you that leave comments and give the nice thumbs up. I think that's just so nice. I can't speak for others, but I was not a terribly popular person in school. High school was not a fun time for me, but that was a long time ago. And I don't go looking for it. I'm not looking for fame on Facebook or those things. And for those that do, best of luck, and I hope that works out great for you. I'm at an age now where being liked is not at the top of my list, but I would be lying to say that it doesn't mean a lot to me when I see such nice comments and I see those little blue thumbs. It does feel good. It means that I'm doing something right, and so for that I want to say thank you. And also to let you know that if you are interested in one of these soaps, leave me a comment and say, I want one, and I will send you one absolutely free if you're in the United States. Sorry I can't ship out of the US. I don't have that kind of cash, but if you're in the United States and you mention that you saw this in the comments and that you'd like a bar of the soap, then I will contact you and we will get you out a bar at no cost, a free bar of soap and no shipping cost to you. Sound good? So thank you all. Have a fantastic day. Goodbye.